am a maritime person by background, and my profession, I started as a marine engineer. I did my first training in Singapore Polytechnic as a marine engineer, and after that I sailed for a few years and went back to the Singapore Polytechnic to do my advanced diploma to prepare myself for as a second-class engineer, which I took in Singapore as well. Then I did some more time in merchant shipping before I did my Class 1 marine engineering in the UK. After that, I did a master's degree in the World Maritime University in technical management of shipping. After finishing that, I worked in the maritime administration of the Maldives for about 5 years, where I was looking after education and training projects as well as surveying ships, basically all around the maritime industry in terms of implementation of IMO regulations. And after that, I went to Cardiff University and did a doctorate in maritime transport policy. From then on, I've been based in Cardiff in the UK, and I've worked for Cardiff University. I've worked for as a consultant to the Seafarers' Rights International in London, and currently most of my work is with the International Ocean Institute in Malta. Yeah, as I said before, I'm in the maritime industry as a seafarer, as implementation from the Maritime Authority, and now as an academic. But then you have to adapt where you find work as well. After my PhD, I was able to work with a very legendary professor, Professor Alistair Cooper, and he was working on a project regarding the life of fishers and fishing in general. So I worked with him for more than 5 years, and that's how I was introduced to this line, which I think I'm very lucky, because we are dealing with an issue that touches everyone. In fact, anyone who eats fish will realize the importance of the issues I'm dealing with right now. The global economy, fishing is a very, very big industry. If you look at the reports by FAO and others, fishing market or fishing industry is valued at between $250 to $500 billion US. So that is a huge amount. And on top of that, seafood, fish, contributes to about 30% of animal protein for people in the developing world. So fish is very important. And in any case, fishing, the globe is made up of 70% water. So there's a lot of fish and seafood and other items within the ocean. So fishing is a huge industry. And just to put into context, some fish are very, very expensive. For example, a bluefin tuna in Japan recently, a couple of years back, one tuna was sold for more than $3.1 million. So it is a huge industry. Well, the fishing industry is huge, like I've said in the beginning, right? So overfishing is one of the biggest problems we face in the fishing industry, because it's a race to fish, you see. Many developed nations, they have so many huge fishing vessels. Some of these fishing trawlers, they call it super trawlers. They are over 100 meters long, and they can drag a net of 1 kilometer long behind them, catching in each one of those nets about 6 to 8 busloads of fish in one go. And the biggest problem here is there's a lot of bycatch as well, you know. Fish that we do not want, which we take in and then throw away. So this is a big problem. Then apart from that, some of the subsidies given by especially the European nations and so on, to the fishing industry is actually not helping the sustainability of fisheries, because you have more vessels than it can be sustainably maintained in the fishing industry. And augmenting to that, getting people to work in this distant water fishing fleet is not easy either. Not easy in the sense that it costs money, because crewing is one of the biggest costs in the shipping industry or the fishing industry. So to cut corners, to reduce this cost, what many of the developed countries, let's say South Korea, Taiwan, Thailand, even the UK and Ireland, for example, and other European nations, they are resorting to crewing them with people from third world countries, migrant labor. For example, Indonesia, Philippines, African nations, and so on, even Myanmar. And these people are subject to very, very bad working and living conditions in these vessels. So these are some of the challenges, apart from the depletion of the resources themselves. Technology is always, it's two sides of a coin, actually, you know. It can help as well as cause some problems. Well, in terms of helping, for example, poaching is one of the biggest problems. IUU fishing, illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing. And when somebody else's vessel come into your own exclusive economic zone and fish, you would not know which vessels are coming and doing this. But with technology, you have the AI systems, which is automatic identification systems on these vessels. So it is much easier to see which vessels are in your exclusive economic zone and so on. But then again, there are limitations to these as well. For example, the stronger AIS systems, the better quality ones, you will be able to observe, whereas the lower quality ones, sometimes they use on purpose as well. You might not detect them if they are too far away from you. And on top of that, some of these vessels might switch off their AIS systems as well. But overall, I would say this type of technology advancements do help in monitoring illegal activities and such. Well, definitely the governments can do more, you know, because some of these governments, these countries that I have mentioned before, in fact, they are improving their conditions regarding labor and so on, which I can attest to that, because I have seen improvement. But at the same time, I have to say that it's not going far enough and quick enough for that, because sometimes these industries are very big for their economies and they don't want to rock the boat, as you would say, with these industries. So it's a bit slow in most cases, but positive developments we have seen positive developments, yes. That is a very good question. When I say good, it's because we are getting less and less younger people who want to go into the maritime field, because we want to have a life of more comfort at a desk or at home, closer to home. Yeah. In fact, this question I've raised in the Maldives as well, which we are having the same problem. So it has to be multifaceted approach, in the sense you have to create awareness, first of all, in the schools and the parents as well, because first of all, I think a lot of us as parents, we want our children to be doctors or lawyers or something, but it used to be engineers also used to be in that category, and still is, I think, as long as it's not maritime. But then we have to let the younger generation know of the possibilities and the rewards in this profession as well. You take, for example, a master mariner or a chief engineer can command between 15 and 20,000 US dollars per month. That is a lot of money. And being a seafarer does not mean that you have to be in that profession for life, you know. You can be a sailor, a seafarer, a master mariner, a marine engineer or electrical engineer on board a ship, or other professions for 4 or 5 years and come and work many in different industries on the land. So it is a very rewarding profession, and I would say you are able to see a lot of countries as well. True enough, you don't get so much time when you reach a port as you used to in the olden days when ships were at port for weeks and so on. But then again, the contracts are shorter as well. Now you have contracts of 4 months, so you can have a paid leave plus 4 months contract and then go sailing again, maybe for 3-4 years. So it is a very reward. We have to create awareness at different levels. The fishing industry, rewarding in the sense, fishing, like I said, is the lifeblood of a lot of people in the developing countries especially. Said about 30% of animal protein comes from fish. Apart from that, I'm happy that I'm able to give this message which I'm going to give after this interview, spreading the issues inherent in this fishing industry and how these things can be improved. At the same time, I'm happy to realize that in some cases there are positive aspects where something good has come out by people who have been working to improve the industry. For example, in the Korean fishing industry, they've been fishing in New Zealand waters and at low pay and so on. So a group of lawyers in New Zealand called Slave-Free Seas, they advocated and in the Parliament, in New Zealand Parliament, and changed the New Zealand laws so that the people fishing in New Zealand waters have to be paid equal pay to anybody else fishing in that region. Also, they managed to get a lot of money, millions of dollars back pay for the migrant workers. There are some positives coming out from people who are working to improve the situation. Hope that you will take, because as consumers of fish, most of us eat fish or seafood, and give a thought to how this fish has ended up on our dinner plate. You will see a lot of the canned tuna in the supermarkets which says tuna and dolphin friendly and so on. But let us hope that we can also see the label to be included with blood and sweat friendly. So we know how it was caught, the condition of the people who slaved to catch this fish for us, and let's try to improve it.